sukkah and it was getting very sunny, and Yechon said, could I drape a sheet over the sukkah for extra shade? Can I be moisiv? Can I add on a temporary thing onto an existing oil?
Ew.
Is there a problem of making oil on Shabbos? And Blazer didn't want to say anything. He actually left the sukkah. He didn't want to be matter it. Yechon did it anyways. Where we got up to, and Chazer was, Heichi Ovid Hachi. The Gemara asked a question on this. The Gemara says, Heichi Ovid Hachi. How was Rabbi Eliezer allowed to leave on Sukkot and spend Shabbos on Sukkot at Yechon on Sukkah? Rabbi Eliezer said, "Ein Yitzim is Sukkah. Not to leave from one Sukkah to the other." The Gemara answers, "Regel acher hava." It was a different Yom Tov. It was Shavuos, let's say. So therefore, there's no problem of spending all 7 days in one Sukkah. It was Shavuos. Well, that's what's Pesach. And the Gemara has another question of Amr Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Eliezer says, "Mishabeach ani esat slonin shein yitzim mibateim beregel." I praise the lazy ones that don't go out of their house on Yom Tov. It's good to be home with your family. It's actually a good time to be lazy. So how come Rabbi Eliezer was allowed to leave his family and be in the upper Galil by Yechanan? The Gemara answers, Shabbos Hava. It wasn't Yom Tov, it was Shabbos. And Shabbos has no inyan v'samachta atu v'sachad. You have to be with your family. You could leave for Shabbos. Good thing to know. You are allowed to leave for Shabbos from your family, according to Rabbi Eliezer. It's not such a problem. We're up to the second last line, the Tivshait. We start off with Agdama yesterday. We'll see the words of the Gemara and also Chazer, that Agdama as well. So Rabbi Eliezer said, I never say anything over that I don't hear from my Rebbe, and therefore Yechidon's question, am I allowed to add a sheet to an existing sukkah, being moisef, an arai type of thing, a sheet, which I'm going to take off in a few minutes. Once the sun's gone, I'm taking it right off. It's not a real addition to the sukkah. It's an arai type of thing. What's the halacha? And Rabbi Eliezer said, I never heard this from my Rebbe, so I didn't answer. The Gemara is going to ask, if Rabbi Eliezer, if we could find somewhere Rabbi Eliezer said it, this halacha, maybe it dropped differently, so the same way as Rebbe said about that, why wouldn't apply here as well? Like, when you say something, I don't see anything from my Rebbe. Let's say you go over to Rebbe and say, the Rebbe said, the bracha you make on water is shahakal. I'm just making up something. And then you say, what bracha you make on seltzer? I know it's such a good example. I didn't hear from my Rebbe. Seltzer water is the same thing. If I ask you a whole different question, then you could say I didn't hear from your Rebbe. So if we could find somewhere else where Rabbi Eliezer said something similar, then why couldn't Rabbi Eliezer said, I know the halacha because I said it in a different case, and that I got from my Rebbe. That's the Gemara's question.
I answered him straight up. I only answered things that I learned from my Rebbe. Like,
why didn't he say it like that?
He made a whole riddle out of it. Like,
right. Why didn't he say, Arya wants to know, be straight up and say, I didn't hear from my Rebbe. So there are underlying messages Shmuel Dava pointed out. One, could we want to give him some musar, ask somebody else. Yeah, but still, he should have said, I don't say anything over my Rebbe. Could be it's good, could be it's not good. I don't know why. I don't know why he didn't say that line. What's so bad? Could have said, ask somebody else. I didn't hear from my Rebbe. Anivas. Right, it is a major anhaga. We're going to see in the coming Gemara. It was a special midah. It's not something halachically that you have to do. It's like going way above and beyond. Could be you don't want to say it. Okay, I hear. Possibly. So, fact the Gemara, the tivshay le mididei. He could have been paishet. He could have. Paishet means like said the answer to the question. Pshitas. Like he could have been paishet. Come out to a pshitas. What the halach is mididei from his own thing he taught somewhere else. What was it? Now we learned in the Mishnah. This is the Mishnah in Masechah Shabbos. Pikak hachaloim. So you have this sky window. I keep forgetting the word for it. Skylight on the top of your house, and you have a skylight. And the way it was back then, it wasn't like a fixed window. It was a hole, a gaping hole, and you'd put like a piece of a piece of wood. You put it into the hole to cover it, and you open it when you want to. Okay, it's called a pikak hachaloim. Are you allowed to stick in that piece on Shabbos? Take it in, take it out. Is that called making an oil on Shabbos? Is that, or it's just like, being a temporary addition. I take it down sometimes, I put it up. It's not like a major malacha on Shabbos. Is it allowed or not? So the Mishnah says about this pikak hachaloim, Rebbe Eliezer says, Bizman shekosher the toli. At a time when it's tied, kosher tied, the toli and hanging and suspended. The halacha is, yes, you could close it up, this hole in the roof. Vimla, but if not, ain't paikikin ba, you're not allowed to. So it really depends. If it's always hanging from there, and it's even suspended in midair, the more it's suspended and the more it's tied on, the more it shows that this is what it's for, and it's like hanging in the middle of the air. If it's tied, but it's on the floor, even if it's tied, it shows like it's more settled. So if you to pick it up and put it into your roof, that's already a whole like an oil situation. But here it's hanging on a string, tied, suspended in the air, it's so clear that it's so arai-ish, it's so not being moisif onto your building. It's more like, I open, I close. It's like opening a bottle of whiskey. I open a bottle of whiskey and close a bottle of whiskey. Of course, the cap's right here. You open, you close. Okay, it's not the same dimming. That's a bottle. But it's like the thing from my house. Like open, close. It's hanging right from the ceiling. It's not even on the floor. It's not resting. Midair. So says Rabbi Eliezer, bisman shekosher v'toli. If it's tied and suspended, hanging in the air, yes, paikikimba, you can do it. The mlab, but if not, no, ain't paikikimba, you can't do it. The Chachamim Maimim and the Chachamim say, Benkach u Benkach Paikikin. Nah, either way. Whether it's hanging or it's not hanging, whether it's tied by a string or not tied by a string, pashtas, whatever it is, you're always allowed to be paikik the skylight. Always be paikik it. Because it's just a arai, just a temporary addition. You take it on, you take it off. The Chachamim say it's fine. But what do you see from this Mishnah? What do you see about Rabbi Eliezer? Rabbi Eliezer seems to say that only if something is mesukin v'oimed, it's meant, it's right here, it's hanging, it's suspended, then I'm allowed to stick it in. But the sheet for the sukkah, it's not hanging in there all the time. I'm going into my house, pulling a sheet off the bed, I don't know where they got the sheet from, and doing this random addition to the sukkah, that's usher. That's being moisid, even though it's arai-ish, that's a problem of the oil on Shabbos. It's a derabbanan, it's not deraisa. You have an oil, you're just adding on, but in an arai type of way, that's an issur d'rabbanan, you shouldn't be allowed to do it. So why didn't Rabbi Eliezer say, I do know the halacha, because there's another place, his Rebbe must have told him this, that by the pekaka chaloin, you're allowed to do it only if it's kosher v'toli. So by the southern, the sheet, it's not kosher v'toli. Why you should not be allowed to put the sheet on the sukkah? Why didn't Rabbi Eliezer say it was asur? That's the Gemara's question. So we go to Chav Chesem at Aleph. And the Gemara says, no, there is a chiluk. You can't say why Rabbi Eliezer say it's based off of this Gemara in Shabbos. The Gemara in Shabbos is very different. Why is it different? The Gemara answers, Hassam over there by the Pekak on Shabbos, Hassam over there, Hu de Mevatel. He's being Mevatel the Pekak to the roof. He's nullifying it. It looks like one entity. He's really sticking a piece inside the roof. It looks like the roof is almost like leveled. So over there, I see it as being like a major haisafa to an oil, even though it's arai, you take it out, you take it in. But there I can hear it's much more of an oil. So it has to be kosher v'toli. It's so bottled to the roof that the only way to show me that I'm allowed to do this is if it's hanging and suspended in midair. But by the sheet, the sudden, deloy mevato, you're not nullifying it to the sukkah. It's so clear the sheet does not belong on the sukkah. It looks retarded. It doesn't look normal. You're putting a sheet on top of your sukkah. Nobody has a sheet on top of a sukkah. It's so clear you're going to take it off once it's not sunny anymore. So you're not nullifying it onto the sukkah. It's not a major, it doesn't look like an addition to your sukkah. Then, loy, no. According to Rabbi Eliezer, maybe it's okay. It doesn't have to be kosher v'tali. That is the Gemara's answer. You have no raya. It's not for sure it's mevatel and loy mevatel. The Gemara is saying, Hassam, over there, it's not exact dimyan. Could be it's different. Could be the Pekaka Chaloin needs a lot more to show me. It needs to be kosher v'toli. But the sudden, everyone knows the sudden's just for a quick second. Maybe there, but Ezra would say it's moter. Yes. Oh, I thought you had a question.
I don't like it so much, but
Why?
I don't understand it well.
Why not?
I mean, I don't know.
It doesn't resonate with you. Okay. The Gemara is saying that maybe it's different. There's no for sure it's different. That is the end of that Gemara. We start a new Gemara. Ton Rabbanan. The Rabbanan taught in the Brisa. This is Agadata, pretty much Agadata until the Mishnah. Very Gishmak Agadata. Very pretty famous Gemaras also. Maisa story, Berebi Eliezer, with Rabbi Eliezer, back to Rabbi Eliezer, more about him. Sheshavas Begalil Eli, and again, he's spending Shabbos in the Upper Galil. This guy's a big traveler. He's spending Shabbos in the Upper Galil. V'sha'luhu shloishim halachas b'hilchei sukkah. The people in that area, in the Galil Elya, in the upper Galil, they asked him 30 halachas in Hilchos Sukkah. 30 shilas. Then a queue in Kubesh al-Shudas, yeah. Listen to what happened. Shteim Esrei Amar Lahem. 12 of the questions he said to them, Shamati. I heard from my Rebbe, and I'll tell you the answer. He always says Shamati, because he only says things that his Rebbe said. Shamati, yeah, I know the answer because I heard it from my Rebbe. Shmeina Esrei Amar Lahem. But 18 of the questions he said to them, Loi Shamati, I did not hear it from my Rebbe. That's how he responded. He never said anything himself. He said to them, that I do know from my Rebbe, that I don't know from my Rebbe. Okay? Rabbi Yesi, Rabbi Yesi, the son of Rabbi Yehuda, says, Chiluf advarim. You got the story wrong. It was exactly the opposite of what you said. Chiluf means exchange the words. You exchange it. You got it wrong. Shmeina Esrei Amar Lahem. 18 of the questions he said to them, Shamati. There was 18 that he said, I heard from my Rebbe. Shteim Esrei Amar Lahem, but 12 of them he said, Loi Shamati, I did not hear. So that different version about what happened, but a number of questions he said I heard, a number of questions he said I didn't hear. I should have done this by my Q&A, by the way. I had like a lot of questions. I should have said, I didn't hear from my Rebbe. Loi Shamati. That's Shamati, that's Loi Shamati.
I don't know if you would have gotten voted in.
I hear. You have to just say an answer anyways. So he says, Shamati, Loi Shamati. So the Gemara says, Amru Loi. They said to him, Kol devarecha einon ela mipi hashmua. All your words are only mipi hashmua? Sounds crazy. What does that mean? What do you say? What do you say, Rebbe Eliezer? Everything you say is only mipi hashmua? We're asking a Hilchos Sukkah question. Why can't you answer regular? Amr Lehem, he said to them, Hiskaktuni. Hiskaktuni means you're forcing me. Hiskaktuni loymar davar shalei shamati mipi rabbeisai. You're forcing me to say something I didn't hear from the mouth of my Rebbeim? That's what you want to do? You're pushing me? This is my anhaga. He says, you know what? Let me tell you a few of my anhagas that I do in my life. Let me tell you a few. He says, miyamai, from all my days, lo kidmani adam beveis hamedrash. Nobody ever beat me to the beis medrash. No person ever preceded me into the beis medrash. I was the first one in the door. Miyamai, all my days. Pretty amazing. V'lo yashanti beveis hamedrash, lo yishenas keva v'lo yishenas aray. I never slept in the beis medrash, whether a shenas keva, a fixed sleep, or a full sleep, let's say a half hour or something like that, and not even the shenas aray, a nap. I never closed my eyes in the beis medrash, ever. V'lo hinachti adam beveis hamedrash v'yatzasi. I never left. I never left any person in the beis medrash v'yatzasi, and I left. I never walked out of the beis medrash if anybody was still in there. I was the last one to leave. V'lo sichati sichas chulam. I never schmoozed or spoke. Chulam means like non-holy speech, like non-important matters. I never spoke, schmoozed, joked around, said things of like, what's the weather outside and where'd you go out to eat? I never spoke about those types of things. Ever. Sichas chulam, never spoke about that. And I never said anything that I did not hear from my Rebbe ever. So he's like, you know what type of guy I am? Let me just tell you about myself. These are things that I was very careful about. Now, why is he throwing this all in? Just say, from all my days, I never said anything from my Rebbe. All of a sudden you're throwing out, he's like, what's it called when you want to show off? What's that thing? T4? Like, you want a T4 like, by the way, why is he T4ing now? So the answer is, you know why he's doing it? Because he was saying to them, trust me, if my Rebbe said it, I know it. Because I never ever came late to the Beis Medrash. I was the last one to leave. I know everything my Rebbe said. I never schmoozed. I know everything. So when I tell you I didn't hear from my Rebbe, I know pretty much everything. It's not like I'm a subbah because I missed the shir, I didn't come that night. I was always there. So if it's something I never heard, it's really like mamish I never heard. And it's not something I want to say. It's one thing if you like missed it or like he's never around. You're not going to say anything from your Rebbe. But I'm around 24/7. I'm never battling. I'm always there. So I'm bringing out the point that if I'm not saying it to you, I'm not mesupik about it. I don't want to say anything I didn't hear from my Rebbe. That's what I said.
Could be saying that I have my own mahalach. As you see, I have my own mahalach in many other areas.
This is like my thing.
Everyone else is thinking like, you're correct. Why do you say your own din?
Right.
So you say I'm different. I'm different. I don't do this. I do this.
I hear it. Could be also, yeah. But you see also this thing miyamai. Everyone has their things that they're into. Why these things? Also, like There are other things you could talk about. But these were his anhagas. I actually said to somebody, I think everybody has their thing that they're very makpid about. Even if you're not makpid about everything, you ask around. I was on the phone with a guy today, I was learning with a guy, and I said to him, what's your miyamai? Like, what's your thing? I told him this Gemara, because he asked me, like, what are you learning? I told him this Gemara I'm learning. I said to him, what's your miyamai? You for sure have one thing. He's like, I don't know. I'm telling you, you ask around, everybody, it could be the most random thing. Like one guy will say, I'm like super anti, I'll never, I don't know. You don't have it. I don't know, you get these random things. I'll never ever come late to Shachris, or I never ever miss Shal Shul. I don't know, everyone has like their thing. I always eat Malva Malka. It could be weird things, but they're not weird. I'm saying, like, interesting why they're into that thing. So I asked him, like, what is your thing? He's like, you know what? I do have my thing. He's like, I do have it. And he told me what his thing was. I don't want to say, because you might know who it is. He says, I do have my thing that I do. After a while, but if you think about it, you really do. You really do. I have things I'm very into. I'm not sharing them around. But I have certain things I'm very into. It can be private. What? No, it's like a very short list. It's not long. But I guarantee you,
This is a hard list also.
this is a hard list, yeah.
It's a rough list.
This is a rough list. But I guarantee if I went to every single person, you would say something that is like something I'm very into. Oh, what? Yes, sir?
Go around the room.
Oh, yeah. It's a good thing, by the way, if you had a table, like conversation, right? What's your thing that you're very into? What's your miyama?
What age does that start at?
What?
What is that age of Mayama?
I'm not sure what age it starts. Look at this next. We'll end with this next Gemara. I got it to also. Who was Rebbe Eliezer's Rebbe? You know who Rebbe Eliezer's Rebbe was? Rabbi Yechanan ben Zakkai. And the Gemara is going to go, the Brisa, we're still in the same Brisa. We jump into about Rabbi Yechanan ben Zakkai. Amru Olav.
Who's the other Yechman?
The Amira.
His Relazar's Yechman is the Meyer?
Rebbe Eliezer is a Tana. His Rebbe. Rebbe Eliezer is Rebbe Eliezer's Talmud. Yes. Oh, the Yechanan before? I'm sorry. The Yechanan was Eli, Rebbe Eliezer's son.
Why did you write those Yechman? Not like Rebbe.
So some people change the Gersa to Rabbi Yechanan. They do. Some people change the Gersa, but the Gemara doesn't have it. Could be he wasn't like a Reb, you know. I don't know. Like Ula also, you know. So our Amiram that don't have a Reb before. It could be he wasn't even a Meir. It could be just a story where he stayed. Amru Olav, they said about him, Al Rabbi Yechanan ben Zakkai. They said about him who? On Rabbi Yechanan ben Zakkai. Okay, it's the same Brisa. Now there's not Rabbi Yechanan ben Zakkai talking. This is the Brisa saying about Rabbi Yechanan ben Zakkai. And it says, Miyamav, from all his days, Loisach Sichas Chulin. Rabbi Yechanan ben Zakkai never spoke Sichas Chulin all his days. V'leholach dawar amas, b'lei Torah v'lei tefillin. He never went 4 amas without tefillin or without Torah. Some people say it was either or. Some people say it was together. He always wears tefillin and learned Torah, or either or. He was either learning Torah as he walked, or he's wearing his tefillin.
Ari never talks to this.
Veloy, oh, very good, by the way. Yeah. Ari has a miyama, by the way. He told me this also. Sorry, then with us.
Of its filling?
Yeah. It's good. It's good
I
there.
started at 30 years matters.
Okay. That's your miyama. Veloy kodmu adam beveis hamedrash. Nobody ever beat your Bechem and Zakkai to the Beis Medrash as well. Now, I don't know how this works, because if Eliezer was his Talmud, they came together. I said, I don't know how this works out, unless there's like different kufas. I'm not sure. He never slept in Beis Medrash. A keva sleep, an arai sleep, never. What? Yeah. We're going to say it there. Eliezer followed his Rebbe and everything. He never thought in learning. B'mavayis means in alleyways, have mitunafas that are dirty, like bathrooms. You're not allowed to think of learning in the bathroom. Now, you don't know how hard it is not to think in the bathroom when you're a Tana or an Amira. These guys are thinking learning all day long. You go into the bathroom, it's impossible. Hamzi, there's something very chashuv in Lakewood, I'm very close to. I one time said to him, what do you do in the bathroom? I said, well, that's what he does. But it's a good thing to ask chashuv of people, because you spend probably a few years of your life in the bathroom. Like, what is a it's not a joke. What does a chashuv a person do? What do they do? Right? They don't waste time. Okay, so we're going with science books. I asked a gadol in Lakewood, I said, what do you do in the bathroom? I was very close to him. You can't ask this to many people. So he said to me, I'm only saying this because it's Torah. He says he has such a hard time not thinking and learning. He doesn't have cell phones like you have. He says sometimes he looks at old texts, like he has an old phone. A lot of times he takes the tissue boxes and counts like all the let's say it's like stars or things. He has to take his mind away. He also thinks in learning. He counts the things. But he doesn't want to read anything because he might get delayed and waste time.
Our bathrooms
I'm just showing you how Dalim think. I'm not joking. He's a chashuv guy. This is what he said to do.
The Gemara don't know.
What?
Our bathrooms are they even halakhically bathrooms?
When the person's in the bathroom for sure at that moment.
Right.
There's a shot you walk into a bathroom and there's nothing dirty right now. You're just walking in and walking out. But this is a person that's in the bathroom. There's no shiloh about it at that moment. So I'm just showing you, for him not to be mahar b'avos and b'tavos, because people are like, that's the halacha. You're not allowed to think of learning in the bathroom. It's usher. The teretz is, it was so hard for him. He was so careful that if he said this, they said about him, that he never thought learning. I don't know how you're able to say about him, without him saying it, but this is what they said about him. That he never thought learning will stop over here.
I think the Phenomenal says that Zakai opened the Mizrach. He opened the door.
Yeah.
It sounds like he was the first Talmidim.
And they're saying that Eliezer was the first Talmud.
Yeah, he says like he let everyone else open the Talmidim.
Next one.
I talked about him.
Yeah.
The second one.
But the next one coming up.
No, this current one.